Hello, my name is Rosemary. Welcome to Storytime Podcast. Today I'm here with Imbar. Hello, Imbar. How are you?
Hello. I'm fine. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you. Um, so normally I like to start off with a question about the awakening or spirituality process and what that means in your life, or have you had experience where it was very profound and eye-opening for you?
Wow. Where to start? Let me just introduce myself just in very few words.
Yeah.
I'm a woman who is blind. I live in Israel in a town called Eilat. And I believe that my whole life has been spiritual. There's been times when it's been more and more centered in my life or central in my life, and now it's almost my whole life, spirituality and the journey and developing and growing and transforming. Yeah, it's my life. But I think even as a kid, I've been aware of unusual stuff or mystical stuff, if you want to call it that, the divine. Lots and lots of stuff that I felt, vibrations. I didn't know how to call it then. I didn't have a name for many things, but I was aware that there are different things, energies. I could read people's energies and what they wanted to say, even if they didn't say it. And I've been very connected to Gaia, to Earth, to nature throughout my life, even as a very small child. And I also felt its vibrations, Gaia's vibrations, or her vibrations, if you want to call it her. And I felt connected, very connected to nature, to animals, to other people, to the sea, to trees, to plants, to birds, everything really. I felt the connection, even though I didn't have names. I didn't have names for what I was feeling, but I felt it. And then when I was a teenager, there was a program on the radio about unusual stuff and extraterrestrial visitations and UFOs and mystical things and lots of stuff. And I was riveted to the show every time, every week. I didn't miss a show because it was so interesting to me. Also, books. When I could get some books, there were very limited amount of books in Braille or recorded that I could get, and then there was no internet. But I would talk to friends or read some books about mystical stuff if I could find them, and I would listen. I would listen to the BBC, and I would talk about stuff sometimes. And then they started talking about UFOs and about extraterrestrial stuff, even on the mainstream radio and TV. And that was, when I finished high school in the 90s. And I remember my dad saying, when I was 10 years old, I was sort of going through a shortwave radio that my grandma had. And I heard all kinds of noises, like beep, 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 all kinds of stuff. And he said to me, half jokingly, I think he joked, but for me, it resonated. Oh, these are aliens. They're talking to us from other planets. And I'm like, wow. He joked, but I was hooked. I was like, wow, that sounds great. And I've been interested since then with, talking or communicating with other civilizations and with the divine and with all kinds of stuff in the universe, exploring the universe from many angles in every realm and every dimension that I could. Then I started university, and I got to read Krishnamurti's texts, Jiddu Krishnamurti. And I was very interested in what he had to say, and many things that he said resonated with me. And I think then, if you want to call it awakening, although I don't really think I think I was awakened before, But this was really what opened the gates of knowledge and of interest and of connection. And I always felt I had guides that walked with me and kept me from stuff and divine intervention and all kinds of things that happened that were absolutely, I don't even have the words to describe them because they were so wonderful and so out of this world. So after Krishnamurti, I read more, and there was internet, so I could read more and know more and understand. And I went through a period of really learning and exploring on my own, just connecting to the guides, not even by words, but vibrationally. And then slowly but surely, I started learning more, and I joined a few courses on Indian philosophy, Native American philosophy. And I started learning about the chakras and all kinds of stuff. And I had wonderful, wonderful, magical experiences. I don't like the word magic because it sounds unreal, but I had miraculous experiences that I saw stuff through my third eye. And I really, really opened my chakras, and I could hold a card in my hand, a card we learned animal spirits and, Native American philosophy. So lots of totem animals and spirit guides and stuff like that. And I held a card in my hand of an opossum, actually. And I could tell without seeing anything, I'm blind. So I could tell what it looked like just from touching the card. It was amazing. Something beyond explanation. And my teacher and my mom, who was in the course with me, were just flabbergasted. They were like, "Whoa," And since then I really was connected, and I kept it up. I kept reading, I kept learning, and then I discovered. They started having Facebook and Twitter in 2008 or 9 or something like that. And I started reading more about spirituality and about mysticism and about a connection with the universe, which I felt, as I said, as a kid. And this was like, wow, I never knew there were other people who felt like this. No, I knew, but not as many as I discovered when I connected on Twitter and Facebook. And later on, I found a site that was is amazing still. It has so much information. It's called Biblioteca Pliades. There's a lot of stuff in Spanish, but it's also in English. And that really, they talk about everything that has to do with spirituality and the universe and exploring and astronomy and history, cosmic history even, and all kinds of stuff. And I was hooked. I was really learning a lot and developing and growing and doing all kinds of stuff for self-empowerment. And I'm a public speaker by profession. I've been doing it for 35 years, since I was 14. And this thing with empowerment and empowering myself to empower others and service to others was something I've been doing since I was a kid. And this added another layer, or many other layers actually, to my work and to my studies. And I was so happy to discover these things. And then I found Eckhart Tolle, the spiritual teacher.
I'm aware, yes.
Pardon?
I am aware, yes.
Yes, and I love his stuff. I love his teaching. He's helped me through times, not personally, of course, but his teaching and his, it's a comfort. It was a comfort to listen to him, and he makes you laugh, and he, kinds of stuff. He tells you about your inner body and inner light, and shine your light and connect to source. And I was very, very happy that I found him. And then came my connection with a university. It's called the Cosmic University. And I've been studying for quite a few years in the Cosmic University. We're studying energetic healing and empowerment of self and others. You can find it on the net. It has, most of the stuff is in Hebrew, but there's quite a big English section to the site. And some people in the university translate quite well. on my dad. And yeah, if people are interested in, it's very interesting. It's really vibrational activations and the connection to source and to the divine. And yeah, I've been studying now for a few years, as I said. I am doing a lot of healing for myself, for others. I've sort of virtually healed myself from fibromyalgia. If you know what it is,
Yes.
muscle pain and fatigue, and for those who are not aware of it, and please stay unaware of it if you can, because it's not a pleasant thing.
No.
But as I am always in the opinion that you make challenges into opportunities, you convert negative in quotes things into positive stuff. I've always done that. I've always seen the gifts or the advantages. Even in my blindness, people would um, be surprised that I say blindness is a gift and is an advantage, but it is.
I
And
understand that. Yes.
so,
Yes.
yeah, you would, but many people don't.
Yes.
And so is the fibromyalgia, and it taught me a lot of self-love. For example, it taught me a lot of compassion for
Mm-hmm.
myself, and then of course for others, because the self is it's intertwined with others, with the universe, with humanity. So the more I learn compassion for myself, the more I can be compassionate towards others and love them and love myself and love others. It goes together. It's
Yeah.
so interchangeable
Yes, it
that,
is.
and it gave me a lot. It gave me a lot, and I'm at a stage where fibromyalgia is a minor thing in my life, where it used to be very, very debilitating.
Mm.
English. Sometimes the words get in sort
Oh,
of mixed.
yes. It's all right.
That's okay. That's okay. Oh, my dog is here and he wants to play, so that means very good vibes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So okay, so you've talked a bit about your childhood. So has anything changed? Like people to talk about like a paradigm that we're in, where a lot of demands we have on the world, and again, it may be different from country to country. I don't know. So I'm going to ask: has anything changed in the the construct of growing up as a child, having to get a job, having to, has that changed your passion, or is this something that you just explored and kind of just went with the flow and developed into something that you did today?
Um, I don't think I can understand. I understand the question very.
Okay. Like,
But what has changed because of the paradigm shift?
yes, like we have this world where people are still in the rat race in a way, or in the,
Oh no, I
yeah.
never belonged to the rat race.
Okay.
Never. I mean, I used to be a translator, and there were deadlines, and I was worked in radio, and there were things that I needed to do, but I never, it was never about money and racing for to achieve something, and it was always about passion and about love and about what you do to make people feel better. I used to present a show, like a very simple music show from the 80s. I grew up in the 80s, so I presented the show among the other things that I did in the radio. And the, the greatest joy it brought me was to know that I give people pleasure, that I play music that people enjoy and make them feel better or feel good and improve their mood and stuff like that. That I was always like that. I was always like that, and I think I've been feeling the paradigm shift since I've been a little child. I again didn't have a name for it.
Yep.
Now I have a name for it, and I'm working with everything with the cosmos towards changing the paradigm, towards explaining it to people and making it more accessible, and helping people understand what we can do, where we are going, what the shift is, and everything that's connected to it.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't. Have you ever? I'm going to ask. Have you, and a lot of people, some people are labeling themselves as light workers, but I like how, and this is actually something that I've explained quite frequently in the last few months, is not to label or put a label or definition or on what would be source of that energy, because it's formless, it's eternal in a sense. But a lot of light workers or people who are just waking up or are just starting to, like you said, become in the shift, do shadow work or along those lines. Do you go within a lot to do shadow work,
I
or?
don't call it shadow work. I call it internal work.
Okay.
Because I believe that there are no shadows. I mean, there's places where there's a lot less light,
Yes.
but I don't call it shadow work because shadow has a sort of a negative connotation. So I do internal work. Yes, I do a lot of internal work, or transformative work, I call it. Because it's more inclusive than just calling it shadow work.
Yes.
Yes, I don't define myself as a light worker, but do work with light, and I anchor light in earth, and I let light pass through me, and I process it, and I convert it and transmute it so that other people would be able to choose to accept it if they want. Yes, I'm doing a lot of work like that, a lot of transformation and transmutation of light and of source energy and divine energy. We work a lot with that in the Cosmic University and with myself, by myself. I'm doing a lot of. It's an ongoing journey. It's a never-ending journey. You can always find something to do and something to improve and to work so that you yourself will be more anchored and stronger, and so you can lift others up gently and be steady in your work and where you are, so that you could, if they choose to, help people be pulled up to where you are. So yeah, it's ongoing, this transformative work or internal work, and it's lovely. It's a great. It helped me heal myself with this fibromyalgia that I told you about, and it helps me connect to the universe in its many dimensions and realms, and we get a lot of support from the cosmos, from source. In this work and in helping others and helping yourself. I believe it heartedly that there's so much support and so much love that surrounds us.
I agree. Do you have, do you use music as a way to transmute, or meditation? Is there a particular routine that you use?
No, I don't have routines, because that's sort of anchors you or makes you into a pattern, and I don't think it makes you sort of follow something very dogmatically. And I believe in freedom and in flexibility. And I think meditation is, it depends how do you define it. For me, it goes on 24/7, because
Yes.
you're always in yourself, and you're always in this place of quietude and of connection to source and to creation and to the divine in its many forms and ways. And you do your stuff, you live your life, but you're always there in your sort of meditative state. Everything has essence, everything has meaning. Even your smallest choices in life can come from this place, the place you reach when you're in meditation or you're in some routine. And music, music really helps, raise vibration. It evokes a lot of love and a lot of good feelings and a lot of compassion, a lot of connection to other humans and to nature, and there are many ways to do that. I love, for example, going out to the sea. Well, I'm near the Gulf of Eilat in the Red Sea, so I love sitting there and swimming or diving or doing something that's connected to Gaia. I'm a sailor too, so it's a great way to connect to Gaia, to Earth. Via the sea, you feel like I feel like it's hugging me, the sea and earth. And even though I'm on a boat, which is a man-made thing, it's connected to nature. And we don't have a motor, we have a sail or a few sails, and we just drifting along or sailing along with the wind, and we're connected with the clouds and the sun and the sea and the water and Gaia, and it's lovely. I mean, there's so many ways to keep connected, to be in a meditative state.
Yes.
Not only doing I have nothing against meditations or guiding meditations. Each one of us chooses to connect in their own way. For me, it's a 24/7 thing. It's a very very deep thing that I'm always in. I'm always inside that.
We call it the dynamic or 0 point or flow state. You just go with the energy. Like 0 point would be the place at which you sit in yourself, but yet you're connected with everything else around you at the same time, because that connection is never severed.
My hope is the world will realize that this can be the force that will move the world. The energy that can supply everything in the world. The universal energy or 0 point or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
That flow state you talked about, which is a beautiful way of putting it, is there for the asking, for the taking. And when you connect to it, you can move mountains.
Yes. Yes. And I think people like you that are here to help people see that is you're a great person to be here to do that. I really do find that inspiring.
It brings me really great joy to do it. It's the greatest pleasure for me in life. One of the greatest pleasures to be able to do it, to mentor and to help and to show others the way. We're called way showers, and yeah, it's true. We show each other the way, or we show one another the way, or the other people that are just waking up or just having their journey, starting their journey. And I see in groups in Facebook or something, there are a lot of questions, a lot of stuff comes up, and I'm glad to be there to help and to be there for people, to escort them or to guide them, or not with I say it in a lot of humility, because I'm a service to source.
Yes.
I serve source. I assist the development and the shift.
Yes.
And I'm very happy to do it. Can I tell you about experiences that I've had that were very, very profound? I've had 2 telepathic encounters with 2 civilizations, not in the physical realm. I was listening to a channeling by Cryon, if you know who it is.
Yes.
And some Pleiadians came, a group of Pleiadians came telepathically and said hello, and sort of introduced themselves and sort of shook hands telepathically. And it was a lovely, very short and very lovely experience. And I was very happy to see them in my mind's eye, because they were very nice, very kind, very loving beings. And another experience that was even more profound was Arcturians that came. There was a group that came from the 9th, 8th, and 7th dimension. That's what they said. Mm-hmm. I was talking to my spirit guide, and I was very, very relaxed. And they came, and they just put chains of light around me, and it was so beautiful. And I could see, even though I was blind, I'm blind. I knew that they did it, and they told me they were doing it, and it's lovely. And they say, we're hugging you, and we're with you, and we're connected, and we know that you're with us and listening to us and doing our work here, and hello, and we're friends, and very friendly greeting. And it was such a lovely experience. I'm just grinning, because I remember this experience. It's so lovely. So if you really want to connect to other civilizations, I don't usually call them ETs or aliens, because they're not. They're part of us. They're one with us.
Yes.
So if you want to connect to other civilizations, I was going to say it's very easy, but for some people it wouldn't be. But it's there, and it's doable. It's possible. Everything is possible, of course.
Yes, yes, it is.
Possible. It's possible, and it's so lovely. And you use discernment. You know that there are not people, but there are forces there that are not very pleasant, and I've had some experiences with that, but some of them really want to be healed, by the way. The ones that seem less pleasant, let's say,
Hmm.
they just want to be healed. So they seek us out in order for us to heal them. And so don't push them away if they come. If you feel that they're not very pleasant, let's say,
Hmm.
or they have less light, so to speak. Sometimes they want our light, or not to suck our light away, but just to bask in the light, so to speak, or for
Hmm.
us to send them some healing energy. And it worked. I mean, it worked a few times when I felt, oh my goodness, they're negative forces here, or something like that, or an entity. And then I found out they just want to be healed.
Yeah.
So that's another sort of experience that I've had, and it's lovely. I mean, when you see that they've found the light through my help or my assistance, it's like humans, people who come to me and ask a question, or choose to be come closer to source or to the light. It's the same. We're all one. We're all one big light family.
Yeah, I agree. Um, okay, so I have a few minutes left. It says that there's a time on this. I do agree. I definitely agree because it's all connected with source in a way, and even like through light, as if as star beings, as being part of light. And time really isn't a construct. I don't know if you are familiar with that. A lot of people say time is illusion. I do believe that it's time is illusion.
It's very complex. Time on Earth is very different from time in the cosmos.
Yes.
If people want to go deeper into it, they can read it on the Cosmic University site. There's some things that are related to time in the universe, in the cosmos, and also on the other side that I mentioned, the Biblioteca Triades. I hope I pronounce it well. They have a lot of stuff about time. I'm not talking about time travel.
Yeah.
That's even more complex, and I don't think it's up to us. It's up to our civilization to do it, because there's some that are experts in time travel. So maybe leave it to them. But time is very complex. It's a whole new concept that's been discussed. I hope some people will be exposed to it, because it's very interesting. It's fascinating.
Hmm.
But it's beyond that. It's beyond time. It's beyond space.
Yeah.
We're all the family of light, a big, huge family of light in the omniverse. And even it's very important to say this, even the most negative, I dare say, evil forces and entities in the universe are of the light, are of
Yes.
source, but they have deviated so much that they have become so far from the light that there is just a spark very deep that even they are not aware of. But please remember that they are of the light.
Yes.
No other creation, no other way to be created than by source. We're all sons and daughters of source
Yes.
and of the divine. And remember that when you feel some negative energy, I always say with a smile, hey, go find the light, you know? But sometimes it's easy to do for them, and sometimes it's just almost impossible. And I leave it to creation to help with getting them closer to the light, and they do it. They do it. But we do our part of bringing people and other friends in the universe towards source and light.
Yeah.
But it's
It's
very important that we remember there's no shadow, there's no darkness. Everything is light, but there are corners that are very unlit. There's a very faint spark of light there,
yes.
but there's still light.
Yes.
It just deviated so much and went away astray, if you whatever you want to call it, so much from the light. And I have nothing than compassion for them.
Hmm. Yeah. It's the we say it like full spectrum. So when you take full spectrum lights, which can include the purples and the blues and all of that, but you put it through a
Really?
crystal, it's still
Yeah,
clear. So
yeah.
and nothing is completely evil. Nothing's completely of
No,
light. There, it's that whole what you call the
except for
yin yang.
source.
Yes, the yin yang paradigm. And then coming it all together to
Yeah,
create the whole.
that's
So
right.
Yes. So having compassion for maybe an experience of less light. Somebody may be experiencing that, and then maybe experience a learning experience that they're going through to bring them out of the light. Because how would you know what hot water is if you only knew what hot water is your entire life, and then you all of a sudden you're introduced to cold? How would you know?
Yeah, you understand the places in yourself that are less lit or very faintly lit, and then you just know.
Yeah.
I look at them sometimes. I look at these entities or the forces that are away from the light, and I'm like, how far have you strayed from the light? And there's nothing but love and compassion when I see them.
Yes. So, okay, so
It's very important for us to know that.
I'm going to thank you for being on the podcast, and Byron, you're welcome to do another one because I welcome the conversation. But before we go, is there anything that you could say to people out there to know they're not alone or on their path? Is there anything that you would like to say to people?
Just remember that everyone wakes at their own time and everyone has their own journey, and it's a process. It doesn't have a deadline. It doesn't have a timeline either. Do it in your own space and your own pace. Yeah, space and pace, very important. And be gentle with yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others. Be compassionate to yourself. Try not to judge. Please try not to judge. There's so much judgment, even in the spiritual circles. Try not to judge people. Be gentle with them. They're going through stuff. They're going through a lot of stuff. Sometimes there's a lot of stuff to be healed. This world needs a lot of healing. And the more we heal, the more people will understand that we are of source. We are one. And we could make this world, a better place, and do the shift, not do the shift, but go deeper into the new paradigm.
Yeah.
I'm sending lots of love.
Yes.
And lots of healing, positive energy, vibes to everyone. And be kind. Be kind. Very important to yourself, to others, to Gaia. Gaia is with us. Creation is with us, supporting us all the way. There's so much love around us. And if you can feel it and connect to it, whichever way we talked about ways to connect, then you'll find it, you'll realize it.
I agree. Thank you. And as I said before, you're very much welcome here again. Thank you.